Last night was a noisy and wild night at the ballpark. Memories the Marlins would care to block out. Loaded with controversy and frustration for the fish. But today, the best of the best take the hill. David Price has been the Rays' ace. He leads the American League in wins in ERA. And JJ has been one of the National League's very best. Marlins and Rays, bring on the noise. Father's Day lunch is being served here at Sun Life Stadium, the final game of the Citrus Series. This is a 3-game series. Marlins won Friday. Last night, over 4.5 hours of drama. The Rays beat the Marlins. It's Game 3. Happy Father's Day, everybody. Rich Waltz, along with Tommy. All of the noise, all of the controversy, all of the excitement. It was a terrific game last night. For the Marlins, I think it came down to just throwing strikes out of the bullpen, and they were unable to do that last night.
That didn't happen. First of all, happy Father's Day to you, Rich. And I know that we're back here today. It doesn't matter what happened last night. And talked to Freddie about it. Both of us did. And he's kind of forgotten about everything. We have a premier pitching matchup today.
And both pitchers went home early last night to get ready for it. Let's start with Josh Johnson. For the Marlins, obviously their ace, but one of the National League's elite, especially in the last 2 months.
Boy, you look at his last 7 starts, the numbers are absolutely phenomenal. JJ gave up 4 earned runs opening day to the Mets. Since that time, in 13 starts, he's gone 7-1 with a 1.55 ERA. He's been really stingy allowing home runs. He's only given up 3 long balls this year. Over the last 51-plus innings, none.
Okay, the ERA for Josh Johnson is 3rd in the National League. David Price will trot out the best ERA in the American League, and he's tied for the American League lead in wins as well.
Well, you look at David Price last 3 starts. Something's got to give this afternoon. Here's a guy, 24-year-old out of Vanderbilt. He was the first player chosen in the 2007 draft. He went 3-1 in April, 4-1 in May, and 3-0 in June. So this guy has been consistent. He's had a very consistent fastball this year, and that's really what has taken him over the hill.
Hanley Ramirez out of the lineup. Jorge Cantu getting the day off. What do these two teams have left in the tank after an exhausting night last night?
Well, it's tough, and certainly a lot depends on the 2 starters, and I'm sure each manager, Joe Madden and Freddie Gonzalez, wants their starter to go as deep as he can into the game.
All right, well, hang in there with them as the Marlins and the Rays get ready to go. Get your lineup cards ready. Pencil sharpened. Rays and Marlins coming up.
At Sun Life Stadium, the Rays and the Marlins Citrus Series concludes for 2010 today. Josh Johnson against David Price. I'm Frank Ford, Jeff Conine. Jeff, a crazy game last night. And as Freddie Gonzalez pointed out, look, the Marlins did enough things to lose that game with the performance out of the bullpen. But kind of a strange moment in the bottom of the ninth inning with the lineup snafu. Freddie had made 3 changes defensively in the top of the ninth, sending Brian Barden into the game, along with Leo Nunez and Wes Helms. Now, Barden leading off the ninth, but Lance Barksdale, that's not the way he heard Freddie. He had Barden and Helms swap. Joe Madden comes out after Barden walks, and, well, Barden's out because he batted out of order, according to the umpire's card.
Yeah, it's one of those things like, it's Father's Day, and, we tell our kids something, and they hear something different, like go clean up your room. They don't hear that. Freddie last night was talking to Lance Barksdale saying, look, if this is what I have on my lineup card, well, he didn't hear it that way, and then it's his word against Freddie's word, and when he writes that down on his lineup card as the head umpire, that's etched in stone. That's what goes.
And Freddie insists that he said it the right way.
I told him where the guys were hitting, and he gave Joe the wrong place to hit. And I'll take it to wherever he wants me to take it to. And, it's one of those things that it's, he said, she said, my word against him, and he's the official lineup card, and so that's the one that counts. But it's embarrassing. But I'm here to tell you that he got it wrong, and that's all I can say about that. And whether that one,
I don't doubt, because I read what Freddie had said. I mean, I'm sure Freddie may have actually said the right way to do things, but I'm telling you, the noise level in this ballpark last night was ridiculous, and that could have led to that mix-up possibly. So it's just one of those anomaly moments. It's a tough situation, but we had to do what we did.
I love it when a major league manager throws words like anomaly out there, but that's Joe. Hey, you know what? The funny thing is, the Rays last year got bit by it. They made out a wrong lineup card prior to a game against Cleveland, listed 2 third basemen, Longoria and Zobrist. Longoria was supposed to be the DH, so they wound up losing Longoria for the whole game, and the pitcher, Andy Sonnenstein, had to be the DH. So it's rare, but it does happen.
Everybody thinks managing is easy. Just write the names out there, throw the players out, and it gets the game goes along. But there are a lot of decisions to make, and especially in the game last night, that was crazy game. Stuff happens, and with all the horns in the stands, it got a little more crazy.
Well, they're exchanging lineups right now. Lance Barksdale will be on the bases today, and you can see Jim Presley out there for the Marlins. Did the snafu cost the Marlins the game? Not necessarily. It did cost them a leadoff runner in the bottom of the ninth inning. But it's a new day. JJ and David Price on the mound. Rich and Tommy coming your way next.
Florida is brought to you by Checkers. Little Place Big Taste by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 800-947-AUTO. by Southeast Toyota. Toyota moving forward. And by Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. Ready to rock and roll on a Father's Day. The Rays and the Marlins. Josh Johnson up on the mound, ready to go. John Jaso leads it off with Carl Crawford and Evan Longoria to follow. And here we go. That would be strike one.
Absolutely paramount, Rich, that JJ keeps that pitch count down, especially in the early innings, so he can extend himself and get late into the game. Just terrific numbers for JJ. The ERA puts him in the top third of the National League at 1.86.
And another strike. Jaso, the catcher, leading off. Outstanding on base percentage. He was 2 for 4 last night with a walk. And Eddie Rapp got it right on the right hand or wrist. Ouch. And it's 1-2. Rays lineup looks this way. The Rays still holding on to a piece of first place in the American League East. Jaso leads it off. Carl Crawford was unstoppable last night. Evan Longoria is at third. Carlos Pena is at first. Ben Zobrist in right. B.J. Upton in center. Sean Rodriguez at second. Reed Brignac is the shortstop. And Price is in the 9th spot. The Rays have the A-team out there. Eddie Rapp getting some of the cold spray.
Not the way Eddie Rapp wanted to spend Father's Day early on. It's a South Florida resident. Family not too far from here, so he gets a chance to stay home when he comes down and umpires Marlins game.
And one of the better umpires in the game. So he's behind home plate. I wonder if he writes left-handed or right-handed. That may come into play later on when either manager is making a substitution. Sorry about that. Here's the 1-2. And Jaso pops it up. It's Ugla who calls for it and makes the catch.
Well, let's see how the defense sets up on this warm afternoon, and there are a few changes. None in the outfield with Coughlin, Cody, and Mike Stanton. Wes Helms starting, giving Jorge Cantu the day off. Brian Barton on the left side. Ugla Sanchez, Ronnie Paulino once again behind the plate. So Hanley still nursing some soreness in that hamstring. Hopefully he'll be ready Tuesday night in Baltimore.
Carl Crawford takes a fastball high. Crawford, as we showed you, a big night last night. He was 4 for 5, and he scored 3 runs. JJ goes in on a hard fastball, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike.
Carl Crawford is 2 for 10 in his career against Josh Johnson, but in his career against the Marlins, a .331 hitter.
And he fouls that pitch off. Crawford and the Rays beating the Marlins last night 9-8, in case you missed it. It was a wild affair that lasted more than 4.5 hours. And just about everybody in uniform was used by both teams. The Marlins, as is customary, sent Josh Johnson home midway through the ball game with a day game following a night game. The Rays sent David Price back to his hotel. Coughlin is there, and he makes the catch. Hold on. That may have been catcher's interference. Crawford is down at first base. And apparently catcher's interference, or what's up? Eddie Rapuano now is going over to talk to Crawford.
Well, it's interesting because Crawford just went to first base as if he said, okay, I ticked the catcher's glove on that swing. But we didn't see the call initially, and finally Ed Rapuano went out. Never really saw him make a call, but let's see if the bat.
He's got to finish it up, Joe. Got to run.
Sometimes it's hard to tell.
Yeah, you can see the way
you see Ronnie
reacted.
bring back the glove, yeah. And there's Crawford pointing to Paulino. So that's that'll be in your scorebook. That's an error charged to Paulino.
So E2, and here is Longoria. And Crawford is running on the first pitch. Paulino's throw is in time.
That's a way to make up for it.
How about that?
That away, Ronnie Paulino.
4.5 hours last night. Paulino caught. Day game after night game, he's back in there. And he throws out one of the best base stealers in the game.
Got that throw there quickly. The tag was up high, but it was before Crawford could get to the bag. Nice tag applied by Dan Uggla, too. Got to hang in there, get that throw. He put the tag right on his helmet.
0-2. Longoria, not a lot of damage in this series, but 4 walks. He went around, and Josh Johnson cuts through the Rays in the first. Bottom of the first coming up. Enter David Price. Four back under the 500 mark after the loss last night at 32-36. Coughlin leads it off. Gabby Sanchez is at first base. They both had big nights last night. Dan Uggla hits third with Hanley out of the lineup. Ronnie Paulino, of course, crunches left-hander, so he's hitting cleanup. Cody Ross in center. Wes Helms at third. Stanton seventh. Brian Barden, a rare start at short, and Josh Johnson will hit ninth.
The only other time David Price pitched against the Marlins was last June, and he went 6 1/3 innings, gave up just 2 hits and a run, and he defeated Andrew Miller in that game. He is having a fantastic year with that 10-2 record. Phil Hughes of the Yankees tied him with his 10th win last night for the American League lead.
He's actually tougher against righties than he is lefties. Lefties hitting .244 against him, righties .216. And a strike to Coughlin. Chris, 4 hits in the series, couple of them last night. And look at that average at .280. Amazing to see it after where he started, and Price living on the outside edge. It's 0-2.
2 good examples of why David Price is having such a good year. A new and improved, much better command of his fastball.
Coughlin on that breaking ball drives it to left. Crawford is out there, and he makes the catch. So there is 1 out. This is a home run challenge game. Each home run in this ball game is valued at $20,000. So far, 92 home runs have been hit in home run challenge games, raising $1.8 million for prostate cancer research. All the players wearing the light blue emblems on their jerseys. Some light blue wristbands out there as well. Here's Gabby. Sanchez takes down low. Sanchez and Coughlin had starring roles in the comeback in the 11th inning. The Marlins staged 2 comebacks last night. They came from behind 5-2 to tie it in the 8th inning, and Gabby was in the middle of that. He had a big double in that 8th, and then his RBI single brought the Marlins within a run in the 11th. Big swing and a miss.
How about the difference there? An 88, 89 mile an hour fastball. Then he came back with 94.
He was the secret weapon for the Rays back in the 2008 postseason. chopper. Pena shovels. He is out. You can see Price searching for the base, looking down and trying to step on it at the same time.
Now the breaking ball is chopped. Price with some good footwork. Look at the backhand flip. The key is that they had plenty of time. Price was there in enough time. He catches the ball.
Ooh.
And did he stay on the bag?
I don't think he
did. Very close. He got to the bag. May have taken his eye off the ball, caught it, and then might have come off the bag just a little bit.
Yeah, that's obviously in Fox Expo, it's a lot easier to call. Here's Ugla. Yes. And Dan went around trying to check on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Ugla against lefties this year, robust. 370. And he's one of the league leaders in that category. The Marlins as a team are 13-9 this year against lefty starters.
And they have a premier lefty this afternoon.
Ugla is 7th in the National League against lefties. David Wright at 411. Andrew McCutcheon at 400. Marlon Byrd at 400. Those are the top National Leaguers against left-handers. Of course, those are your average left-handers. They're not David Price, and there's nothing average about this 24-year-old out of Nashville, Tennessee. 1-2. And it's down low. So two Tennessee natives here in Ugla and Price.
And it hasn't mattered where Price has pitched this year. Notice he's been missing down. 4-1 at home, 6-1 on the road.
Ugla goes down. David Price goes 1, 2, 3 through the first. Strategic placement of the chicken bucket there. Nicely done. Marlins and Rays. This is Carlos Pena, Ben Zobrist, and B.J. Upton to face Josh Johnson. Pena against the shift. Tries to push it down that third base line 4 times this year, including twice against the Marlins. Pena has bunted for a base hit. And with the extreme shift, Barden is the only guy on the third base side of second. That area is wide open.
I think in this instance, you just go ahead and give him that. Here's a guy with 15 home runs. A guy that can take you deep and put you on the scoreboard right away.
Going to try it again. And he takes up. Swings to a good fastball. It's 1-2.
Well, the early results so far, both pitchers have come out with good stuff.
JJ's 1-2 pitch. Josh's last start was outstanding against Texas. Gave up a run in the first inning and ended up leaving the game with a 2-1 lead after 7 brilliant innings. Just that one run allowed. Here's the 2-2. And that's another story behind Johnson's outstanding year. He is 7-2, and his ERA is third in the major leagues at 1.86. However, he's had 4 leads blown by the Marlins bullpen, including that start against Texas. So he very easily could have 9, 10, 11 wins.
Yeah, just half of those. If you say, okay, 2 blown saves, now he's 9-2.
I think it's safe to say we are looking at 2 pitchers that you will see throw in the All-Star game this year.
Yeah, without question. And this is a place that JJ's been tremendous. 5-1 and an ERA at home of 1.48.
That's up. We told you that Price is tougher on righties. JJ is tougher on lefties.
Price, new and improved command of the fastball. JJ, a much better changeup this year, and that's what's been effective to the lefties. Came back with it again. So back-to-back changeups. Last thing Carlos Pena was thinking about.
Couple strikeouts, and here comes Ben Zobrist. The next watch party, the Corona watch party, is on Thursday night. We'll be up in Baltimore. Everybody else will be at the Cadillac Ranch All-American Bar and Grill inside the village at Gulfstream Park. $2.75 bottles of Corona, Billy and the Mermaids, and you can win tickets to upcoming games. Ground ball sprayed into left field, and Ben Zobrist as the first hit. Coughlin bobbles a bit. Zobrist will hold on. And that's going to bring up B.J. Upton. Upton 3 hits in this series, and last night he had 2 of them, including an RBI double in the 6th. He was the last hitter that Chris Volstad faced. Not having a terrific year, though. Average at just .234. And an on-base percentage that's been hovering a little over 300. In the air to right, Stanton, kind of a circuitous route, ends up back on the warning track and makes the catch.
We've talked about Mike Stanton getting settled playing right field, so he's dealing with a few more elements today that he hasn't dealt with in the day game, with the brightness, a little swirling wind, the brightness not only of the white shirts in the stands, but the seats, the reflection off the seats.
Sean Rodriguez got in the game late last night, and he started on Friday night, the Miami native, who's been leaving a big block of tickets for a large extended family throughout this series. Frank Ford had a chance to visit with his family during the game on Friday night.
Let's go, Sean. Way to go, little guy.
Just think,
fastball for a strike.
Just thinking, Rich, about this Father's Day, how this game, a lot of times you get here because of your father, but then it takes you away from your father as you play. And, of course, in Sean Rodriguez's case, his father, Johnny Rodriguez, in the minor leagues managing, long time in the Marlins organization.
A strike. It's 0-2. Pitch count good. 23 so far. 18 of his 23 pitches have been strikes.
This is a day that you don't want to waste too many.
No. And the Rays are very good at extending at bats, at fighting off good pitches. It's something they share with their American League East brethren, the Yankees and the Red Sox.
Safe to say, maybe the most patient division in baseball.
Oh, yeah, they'll chew up a starter in 5 or 6 innings, that's for sure.
You start that Yankee lineup, like Jeter and Swisher, A-Rod, extremely patient, Teixeira,
Euclid, Pedroia, all those guys in Boston as well.
They know how to work pitchers. They know how to foul off tough pitches.
It is the toughest division in terms of the teams at the top in all of baseball. And the Rays have been at the top of the division for 59 days. The last 59 days, the last 7 days, they've shared the top spot with the Yankees. That's some run. Pitch out, misses, and it's 1-2.
And the thing that Red Sox fans would tell you right now, if the playoffs started now, the Red Sox, with 42 wins, the third best record in the American League, would not make the playoffs.
This record by the Rays of 42-26 is their best start ever. Better than their 2008 season. Runner goes, swing and a miss. That would be strike 3 and out number 3. Josh Johnson is rolling. He's got 3 punch outs. We are scoreless. It's the relationships between these fathers and sons throughout the football careers of Colt McCoy and Greg McElroy Jr. and how they influence them to be great players as well as great men. It's the Chick-fil-A Family of Champions tonight at 10 on Fox Sports Florida. Ronnie Paulino. David Price throws a strike. Paulino, Cody Ross, and Wes Helms here in the second against the big lefty out of Vanderbilt, who was dominant in his college career. Golden Spikes Award winner in 2007. Led the NCAA in strikeouts that year. He punched out 194 hitters that year. That's second all-time in NCAA history. Only Ben McDonald with 202 back in '89.
Yeah, 194 and 133 innings.
Pretty good. Paulino a ground ball. Pena, who has won a Gold Glove, over there to get it. And there's one out. Now comes Cody Ross.
Well, the Marlins, Rich, need to start doing something. Looking at the paper today, Marlins are 8.5 games out. They've gone 4-9 over their last 13 games.
And the frustrating thing for the Marlins is in the Texas series, in the ball game last night, they haven't been blown out. It's not like they've just been overmatched. But at times they have seemed undermanned. And especially when a game like last night involves the bullpen as extensively as it did. Three 3-0 to Cody Ross. That's in. Cody's aboard. Marlins have their first base runner. Here comes Wes Helms.
Yeah, Freddie wanted to give Jorge Cantu, who's been slumping a little bit, wanted to give Georgie the day off. And we saw Wes start all 3 of those games at third base in Tampa Bay and had a tremendous series, hit a couple of home runs.
Marlins, of course, did not see Price in that series, and the Rays did not see JJ in that series.
Jorge Cantu 0 for his last 19.
It was either going to be last night or this afternoon that Cantu was going to get a day off. And Freddie decided to make it this afternoon.
Well, it works good, you know, today and then the off day, the travel day on to Baltimore. He'll be refreshed and ready to go the night game against the Orioles.
The Marlins had to replace their left side of their infield today. Hanley Ramirez, in case you've just joined us, left the ballgame last night with tightness in his right hamstring. Available to pinch hit, the Marlins hope so. Helms fights it off.
Be a little hot and sticky in Baltimore too, Rich. I checked the weather. It's going to be in the low 90s.
That's all right.
The Beltway area can get a little sticky.
The Inner Harbor is a pleasant place to be.
Yes, it is.
Some peel and eat shrimp will wash away all your worries.
Maybe some crab cakes. You got it planned already.
Great hitters ballpark too. Jeff Conine on Marlins Live, reminding everybody that that was the first of the new ballparks that was kind of the retro. It came online right after the new Comiskey in Chicago, and he said it still is his favorite ballpark. And a lot of players would agree that is a terrific place to play baseball and to watch baseball.
Yeah, Jeff Conine from 1999 through most of 03 before he came back to the Marlins, a member of the Orioles, and had some terrific seasons with Baltimore.
Baltimore is a team with a lot of good young prospects without a manager right now. Once Sam Wells, the interim. They have been searching for a new manager for what, about 3 weeks?
Yeah, it's been about 3 weeks since Sam Wells took over.
Some interesting names have been floated. Davey Johnson, Tom Kelly,
Buck Showalter,
Bobby Valentine.
Yeah.
Ross is back.
Talked to a couple of scouts today. They thought that Buck Showalter would be a good fit because he can put things together. He might wear out his welcome a little bit, which he has, but is known for being able to really fix things up.
Well, he's not only fixed things up, he has helped build 2 world championship teams in New York and in Arizona. He was the guy that put all the bricks in place for both of those franchises. Helms to center field. It's going to fall in front of Upton. Ross makes the turn, and Helms has got himself a base hit. I don't know if B.J. Upton was fooled on that, but the Marlins are set up with runners at the corners, and here comes Stanton.
Well, the ball was hit a little bit off the end of the bat. Upton kind of froze. I don't think he went back on it. Just kind of held his ground. Outstanding base running. He got a little bit back on it, but he wasn't going to catch that ball anyway.
You're right. He had no chance.
The whole key to that for Cody Ross, he has a good angle. He saw and knew that that ball was going to drop, and Upton wasn't going to catch it. A less experienced base runner may pause, and if you pause, you're not going to get to third. So good base running by Cody Ross.
And in a game where runs are at a premium, this is a big moment. Stanton against Price with 1 out. Fastball inside corner. David Price has struck out 65, and this is start number 14. And he's looking for one right now. High chopper towards short. Out there. Stanton beats it. And the Marlins are on the board in a tough slide at second by Wes Helms, who got a good, healthy piece of Sean Rodriguez.
Well, good job by Mike Stanton just to make contact. You strike out here, and that's certainly what Price was looking for. You don't get the run in. Pounds that breaking ball to the shortstop. They tried to turn two, really wasn't there for him, and Wes Helms made sure with that slide.
So Stanton remains, and here is Barden.
It's only Mike's fourth at bat against a left-handed pitcher, but Mike Stanton hasn't seen a lot of lefties.
Barden hasn't seen a whole lot of lefties or righties this year, and tough at bats for him last night to come into the ball game, especially the 11th inning at bat. Stanton is running on the pitch. The throw offline, and Michael Stanton has a stolen base, his third in the big leagues.
Yeah, what a nice jump. So the scouting report obviously has that delivery to the plate a little slow for David Price, and Mike Stanton halfway there. So a great jump to put himself in scoring position.
Maybe the biggest out of the night last night was in the 11th inning. Andy Sonnenstein, who had thrown 55 pitches the night before, came in, and Barden, with runners at the corners, and nobody out, struck out. That, of course, forced the Marlins to pinch hit Anibal Sanchez for Scott Strickland.
Yeah, and that's why that at bat of Brian Barden's was so important. Tough when you just haven't had a lot of at bats. This is only the fourth start this year for Barden.
And for a couple of reasons. Number one, the Marlins infield has been very healthy this year. Cantu, Gabby, Ugla, Hanley really haven't had any injuries or 2 or 3 days where they've been out of the lineup. And number two, that's where the Marlins' best run production is. And so you get in the middle of a game or late in the game, those are not guys you're going to pinch hit for. They stay in the ball game because they're your run producers. Breaking ball, Barden goes down. Marlins are on the board, though, and lead this one 1-0. Johnson and David Price. It's Reed Brignac, Price himself, and then John Jaso for the Rays. JJ in his 2 innings, 26 pitches. Price in his 2 innings, 34 pitches. This is Brignac, the Louisiana native. It's a high pop-up. Barden is out. Coughlin is in. And Barden gives way to Cogs. Chris Coughlin made a terrific play last night, going to his left in the gap. And I know we've talked an awful lot about Coughlin's hitting woes early and the tear that he's on right now. But he has developed into a very capable left fielder.
And during his hitting woes, nothing bothered his defense either. The improvement that we saw continued. Used to be an old thing guys would tell pitchers like JJ. Don't know if it still goes on the dugout, but after that one run, guys would tell Josh, all right, Josh, there's your run. Go get him.
Neither pitcher is a comfortable at bat for regular players, let alone another pitcher. Price fouls it back.
And you have a guy up there who doesn't have many at bats at the big league level.
One and two. Price getting the start for the Rays. The Marlins, as we've talked about, are headed up to Baltimore. The Rays are home for San Diego as the Padres make a Florida swing. The Padres are at the Trop on Tuesday through Thursday, and then here Friday through Sunday. Matt Latos will open up that series for the Padres, the Coconut Creek kid. Wade Davis will start for the Rays.
So that's a good chance the Marlins will see Latos on Sunday then.
Kevin Correa and Wade LeBlanc will also pitch in that series.
There were some well-pitched games last night in baseball. Phil Hughes, mentioned him earlier, winning his 10th game, beating the Mets. Jake Peavy, a complete game for the White Sox.
Had a base hit.
Yeah, over the Nationals. We didn't see Colby Lewis with the Rangers, but he pitched a complete game 2-hitter in Houston. Well, it's a pretty good battle, and David Price is making JJ work.
Count 2-2. And so a 7-pitch at bat, an 8-pitch at bat, my bad.
Yeah, next one, number 9. He's been all around the zone, but Price has been fouling pitches off.
Another chopper is foul.
Adam Wainwright of the Cardinals won his 10th game with a strong 8 innings against the Athletics.
JJ finally finishes him off, but it wasn't easy. Price goes down. There are 2 outs. And before John Jaso steps in, Frank Ford steps into the box. Frank?
Hey, guys, very unusual to see a catcher in the leadoff spot as John Jaso is. He told me today he never before in his life batted number 1 in the lineup before Joe Madden decided to do that a couple of weeks ago. He's done a great job. He's a .295 hitter and a .395 on base percentage as a leadoff hitter. Madden said, look, when he wasn't batting number 1, he was our leader in on-base percentage. I want guys on in front of Longoria and Pena. So he decided, catcher or not, he's going to put Jaso in that spot. Now, not only is it unusual to have a catcher bat as a leadoff batter, but how about a rookie catcher batting leadoff? According to the Rays, the last time that happened was Bruce Kim had 1 game as a leadoff hitter for the 1976 Detroit Tigers. Rich and Tommy?
Wow. Pop up, third base. Helms makes the catch and a brief AB by Jaso. JJ looks good through 3. .877 Maroney by Tobacco Free Florida. Escape the addiction to tobacco. Be free. Visit FloridaQuitline.com. By South Florida Ford. Visit SouthFloridaFord.com for great offers. And by Florida Power and Light. To learn smart ways to conserve energy, log on to FBNL.com and take a free online home survey. It is hot. Sun Life Stadium.
Yeah, fans won't have to do that in the new ballpark, will they, Rich?
We'll be in comfortable air-conditioned climates on days like this when the heat is oppressive. Josh Johnson now against Price, and that's a strike. Chris Coughlin, Gabby Sanchez also coming up. Marlins got their run in the second. JJ, a 179 hitter. Freddie did say today that had Josh Johnson still been at the ballpark at, what was it, 11:45 or midnight or whenever that at-bat came up?
Yeah, it was after 11:30, I know that.
That he probably would have used him, though he's not real big on using the next day's starter in any role in a game. And a lot of that had to do with what the Marlins witnessed when Carlos Zambrano pulled a hamstring, trying to leg out an infield hit as a pinch hitter. I'm not sure if that was last year or the year before, but it happened in a ball game against the Marlins.
Well, there's a lot that can go wrong. You have let's say in JJ's case, a big guy, 6'7". He's not used to getting loose and getting ready for that at bat, a pinch hit appearance. You hear a lot of hitters who pull that oblique on a swing. I mean, there are just too many bad things that can happen.
Coughlin goes around. And it's 0-1. Chris Coughlin against David Price. He lined to left back in the first. Lexus, our league leaders, highest batting average in June in the National League. Coughlin at .424. JM Lexus, Price made us #1 18 years running. Click jmlexus.com to find out how.
Well, we've seen that before. Chris Coughlin tearing up a month as he did in August and September of last year.
His on-base percentage in June is over .500.
That's the best in baseball.
He has hit in 16 of his last 18, but he's behind a tough lefty here, 0-2.
Price's breaking ball is more of a slurve. It's a little harder than a curve. Maybe not as hard. Right there, 80. Not as hard as a slider, but extremely effective.
Well,
he just starts it right at the belt and then finds the plate to freeze Chris Coughlin. Good pitch by David Price.
Here's Gabby now. He bounced out back in the first. I told you that JJ went home early. Price went back to the hotel early, and that was planned, but he went back a little earlier than expected. He was hit in the outfield during Marlins batting practice. One to Gabby. Ground ball in the center field. That's a base hit. Gabby Sanchez with a 2-out single. And up comes Ugla. Price was playing catch while the Marlins were hitting. And as a ball came out towards him that was hit, one of his teammates, actually I think a Marlin, said, "Look out." And Price turned away. And the throw from the guy he was playing catch with hit him in the unmentionables, so to speak. And he was doubled over in pain, as you would expect. Checked out okay and decided, you know what, better off to spend the rest of the night back at the hotel. But that was a scare, certainly, for the Rays.
Yeah, you look out there, see your starting pitcher, 10-game winner, laid out in the outfield during batting practice. Not a good sign.
Ugla takes inside.
Now David Price knows what his catchers have to deal with on foul tips every once in a while.
He misses to Ugla. He's gone 3-0 to Dan. He struck him out back in the first. Paulino is on deck. Ugla has done a lot of damage against lefties. Coming in at 370 against him. And he had the green light on 3-0.
That's all right. You got a good fastball hitter. You know you're going to get the heat from Price. I would guess another fastball here, too.
Both these guys work quickly. Up with a fastball. Ugla walks. Brings up Paulino.
Boy, think about it. Ronnie Paulino making his 43rd start this year. All of last year, he started 63 games, splitting that time with John Baker.
391 against lefties. He does not have enough at bats to qualify for the league leaders. If he did, he would be 5th. Right between David Freese, who is 4th, and Jeff Francoeur, who is 6th.
By the way, another rookie who's putting up some good numbers, David Freese.
There are the splits with Paulino now at 385 after the ground out back in the second. Pulls one foul. And Price is out in front 1-2.
You know, and this is something that Ronnie Paulino has always done. It's not an aberration this year. You go back to 2005 and Ronnie's hit 340 against lefties.
Nope. 2-2. Price looks like a tough guy to umpire from behind home plate. He comes up with that tough angle, and he does pitch inside. His ball runs. Runners were on the move, and Paulino fouls it back.
Great jump by Gabby Sanchez. You're going to have to head back.
Always make sure once you get to a base that it was in fact a foul tip, because
you're going to have third baseman say foul ball, foul ball.
Yeah, go on back.
There's the jump, a big one.
Paulino getting the start in the cleanup spot against Price. A 6-game hitting streak. Price with a count 2-2.
We've seen, by the way, and I know we always talk about it, Gabby a couple of times last night with the first baseman charging, realizing that he had a chance to get a good jump, and he took off, stole the base. That happened in the 11th inning last night. So we see Gabby with good instincts. Doesn't have blazing speed, but he has really good instincts on the bases.
A good baseball IQ, as they say.
Yeah.
Price misses. The Marlins have pushed his pitch count up to 57.
Yeah, the Marlins have had some pretty patient at-bats. Ronnie Paulino is the 7th batter to see 5 pitches or more. So Price isn't getting a lot of quick outs.
Runners on the move, 3-2 pitch, and Paulino fights that one off. And with a full count. This is really the guy you want up there in this spot against the lefty with a chance to drive in some runs. That's why Freddie has him in the cleanup spot against Price. That is, strike 3 call. Paulino didn't like the call. Price will take it. The inning is over. Fox Tracks will tell us. Pick out the dot. Oh, man. On the big Buford button for a special offer back here at Sun Life Stadium. Rich Waltz joined now by Brian Anderson of the Rays broadcast. Carl Crawford jumps on a ball and hits it to deep right center. Stanton gives chase. This ball is gone. This game is tied. And Crawford, who has been an absolute pain in the neck for the Marlins in this series, the first home run that Josh Johnson has given up since May 8th. How about that?
That was a game at Washington. Just 3 home runs given up in 92 innings for a guy who, yes, he's got plus stuff, but he's going to attack you. And here was a pitch that just caught too much plate, got right into the swing of Carl Crawford, a changeup that didn't have a lot of depth to it. He got it out of here.
Evan Longoria. Well, welcome to the broadcast. I didn't have time to introduce you, give you a proper introduction.
Most Marlins fans want me to go back now.
Well, Tommy Hutton is busy wrestling Dwayne Stats right now, so we'll let them go for an inning. It's been an interesting series, not only this one, but last weekend in St. Pete. The Marlins and the Rays. Longoria gets under one. Coughlin is over. And he makes the catch. And as a former pitcher, you have to be thrilled for a game like this to watch Josh Johnson and David Price go at each other.
Well, you know what I like to do is when you come into a series, you sit down, you look at the probables, and you start going through, and all of a sudden you get to Sunday, and you're like, oh, David Price, Josh Johnson, circle that one in red ink. That's the ones. These are the kind of matchups that you get excited for because you've got two, young pitchers, have dynamic stuff, but more importantly than that, they've got the command. And I think that's what really separates them. There's a lot of pitchers out there with good stuff. I mean, A-ball, double-A, they're full of guys throwing 95, 96 miles an hour. But these two have been able to harness it. They know how to pitch. They use both sides of the plate, which I think is huge. So much of this game has become down and away, down and away, down and away. And occasionally you've got to pitch in, keep guys honest. Both of these guys have done that, and their numbers reflect it.
Carlos Pena going after a high fastball. And it counts 1-1 strike. So Josh has given up a home run and a couple of hits. Price has given up a couple of hits. And it's a 1-1 game.
Just about what you expect. Offense is going to be tough to come by. So Freddie Gonzalez, Joe Madden, they're going to be trying to create some offense on the base paths, get guys in motion if they can even get them on base, and try to scratch across a couple runs because this is a day where you don't expect to see the big numbers being put up offensively.
Pena tried to bunt against the shift his first time up. He ended up striking out. He pulls that one. Dive by Ugla, won't get it. Through the shift, Pena has a base hit. And that'll bring up Ben Zobrist. This, of course, on Father's Day is the culmination of our home run challenge. And Carl Crawford with that home run, $20,000 to donate. 800-798-CURE. Or you can visit pcf.org. Here is Zobrist. He singled back in the second. Both managers hoping that their aces can get them to the 7th or the 8th or even beyond after last night's marathon. And in a close game that went back and forth, both managers had to chew up their bullpens pretty good.
Yeah. Well, Joe Madden, he is the master of making moves, a lot of pitching changes, loves to play matchups. In fact, led the American League last year going away in changing pitchers, pitching changes. So you knew that he was going to do that in a tight game. And
Gabby has to hurry, and he'll tag out a diving Zobrist. Pena moves to second. But and some unconventional moves, which certainly worked out. With James Shields coming out of the bullpen for the first time ever, Andy Sonnenstein coming back. I know that he could probably throw Sonnenstein another, 3-4 innings in this one?
I mean, Andy was so excited, too, because it ran into him this morning. And, he said midway through the game that he went down to Joe and said, look, if you need me, I'm available. But, Dwayne and I were wondering what was going on down there because you had Lance Cormier was available out of the pen, and you figure you're going to use all your bullpen guys before you throw in a starting pitcher. And then all of a sudden Shields is down there, and then Cormier gets up, and then we see Wade Davis stretching it out, and then all of a sudden Sonnenstein jumps in there. So really didn't know who was going to be coming out next. Joe likes to make things exciting, but he was really messing around down there in the bullpen.
And for the Marlins, because of all the relievers who worked last night, some of them very ineffectively, in a game like this, the Marlins have held Ricky Nolasco off from his side session. And in an emergency, Nolasco can throw today. And Nate Robertson might be able to give the Marlins an inning. Although Josh Johnson finishes off B.J. Upton with a high fastball. But Carl Crawford puts the Rays on the board. It's 1-1. 1-1 ball game in the bottom of the fourth. Rich Waltz along with Brian Anderson from Rays Television. And our announcer swap here in the fourth inning. David Price goes to work on Cody Ross. A long stretch of first place for the Rays. And the last 7 days, they've shared it with the New York Yankees. You've got the Red Sox right behind the Rays. It has been an incredible season so far, the top of the East, than you would expect for the next 3.5 months. It's going to be a wild run.
Oh, it's going to be a dogfight, no question. You know, the Rays jumped out to that tremendous start. They won 32 of the first 44 games, and you know, at that point we're sitting 32-12, and we're 6 games up in the American League East. And you knew that the numbers that were being thrown out, the pitching staff, especially the starters, were just lights out for those 44 games. The team was hitting 315, 320 with runners in scoring position. And so you knew those numbers were going to come back down to earth a little bit, but they've almost swung in the other direction, where the starters, since that time, have pitched to, gosh, I mean, it was going into last night's game. They were at a 5.9 earned run average. Jeff Neiman threw a nice game, but still well over 5.5 on the earned run average for the starters. And these guys are the guys that set the tone. And then you combine that with the runners in scoring position average coming way back down, and you see why the Rays have struggled here the last few weeks.
1-2 to Cody Ross. And Price misses outside. If Game 1 of the division series were to start next week, would this be the Game 1 starter right here, David Price?
Boy, you'd have a hard time choosing between David Price and Jeff Neiman. It would depend. It would all go down to Joe Madden and his matchups. But these two guys have been the most consistent starters for the Rays over this entire season. Like I said, everybody got off to a nice start, but David Price and Jeff Neiman have continued that along, where the other 3 guys, James Shields, Matt Garza, Wade Davis, have hit some potholes here or there. These two just keep it going.
2-2 coming, and it's inside. For the Marlins, the rotation has been one of the strengths of this ball club. Josh Johnson, of course, Anibal Sanchez. Chris Volstad has had his moments. 3-2 coming. Cody went after a high fastball.
Well, Volstad has thrown the ball extremely well from what I've seen of him against the Rays. A couple of nice outings. And Josh Johnson, you sit down, you start breaking down his numbers, you see, the 1.86 earned run average, of course, is going to jump out at you. But you start going back and looking game to game, and just laughing with Dwayne. I said, okay, this guy's given up 2 earned runs in his last 6 starts combined. Amazing.
Cody Ross, left center field. A lot of room out there. And B.J. Upton is out there. He makes the catch. So an out here in the bottom of the fourth. Up comes Wes Helms. Fan balloting is underway for the 2010 Major League Baseball All-Star Game. You can help the Marlins or the Rays get there. Vote online at marlins.com. It's your chance to win a suite for 12 and an autographed All-Star poster. Or vote at the stadium during any upcoming game for a chance to win a trip to the All-Star Game. Let's see, Evan Longoria, Carl Crawford are the leaders at their positions. Hanley Ramirez is leading for the Marlins and National League shortstop. And as I said at the outset of our telecast, I think you're looking at 2 guys who will be pitching in the All-Star Game this year, in David Price and Josh Johnson.
Yeah, you got a couple of strong pitchers, obviously eligible, and then between Ramirez, Longoria, Crawford, that's a pretty strong left side of your defense.
Many have called this year the year of the pitcher, and especially in the National League, with guys like Ubaldo Jimenez, Josh Johnson, Jaime Garcia, Matt Cain, Tim Lincecum. As a former big league pitcher yourself, how have you seen this? Is this all of a sudden burst on the scene? Has it evolved over the last year or two?
Well, I think that for the longest time, when you had the cloud of performance-enhancing drugs over the game, it was offensive. I mean, it was all about big numbers. General managers had to make sure that they had an offensive player at every position, which is why all of a sudden those slick fielding middle infielders that hit you 240, 250, they went away, and you had some sluggers there up the middle, and it just became a very offensive game. And now that Major League Baseball has really gotten the garbage, started to get that out of the game, and it's becoming a more clean game, you're seeing it go to a more fundamentally sound game. Small ball,
more athletic.
Yeah, absolutely, which is something that is greatly stressed by Andrew Friedman, Joe Madden, everybody in the Rays organization. They want athleticism and versatility, and have guys that can play multiple positions and be able to move them around the field. And so offensively, you just don't have the same number of sluggers and the same style of the game. And I also think that pitchers, well, you're seeing more and more guys come out there with just plus stuff. I mean, big fastballs and good command of it.
Mike Stanton. Now, here you've got a guy who was a slugger and has the athleticism.
Which is why he's so highly touted.
Yes. At only 20, he drove in the run on a fielder's choice, but he's behind in the count now at 0-2. Stanton, a couple hits and 5 RBIs in the series. One of those hits, of course, the grand slam on Friday night. Marlins winners Friday night. Last night, the Rays, a 1-run win.
I was watching Mike Stanton take batting practice when the Marlins were over at Tropicana Field. And I know it's only batting practice, but he was hitting balls in areas that I've never seen anybody hit them.
And what's impressive about his batting practice is it's not just moonshot after moonshot. It's line drive, and then he'll pop one,
right, and
then back to the line drives again.
That's when they tell him, hey, Mike, we got a runner on third, less than 2, get him in. Oh, okay, I'm going to get me in, too. Boom, gone.
Let's see what he gets, 2-2. Breaking ball, hits it hard into right center field. Brian, it's at bats like that, and he had a bunch of them over in St. Pete that really light up the eyes of scouts. And it's, the home runs are great, and he had a ton of them in Double-A. But when you take a plus breaking ball like that and drive it opposite side and hit it that hard, that's a pretty good sign for a 20-year-old.
Well, yeah, and as a former pitcher, I used to hate guys that were willing to take the ball back up the middle and the other way, because then they weren't a predictable out. It was not one of those guys that you said, okay, with 2 strikes, I can throw something soft away from him. He's going to try to pull it. I'm going to get him out. If they're willing to do what Mike Stanton did just there, which is to take a tough breaking ball and go up the middle, that's difficult.
Stanton is out on the force out. Brian Anderson, thank you.
Too quick.
I know. All right, well, say hi to Dwayne.
We'll
send Tommy back if you see him.
If I can get them off each other.
Yeah, that's right. From the Rays telecast, Sean Rodriguez has returned to the plate for his second at bat. And JJ throws a breaking ball for a strike. Rodriguez, Reed Brignac, and David Price against Johnson in the 5th. The home run by Carl Crawford, the only Rays run. A The ground ball out, driving in a run off the bat of Mike Stanton, the only run for the Fish. That came in the second inning. So how was it over there? Was Dwayne cordial?
Yeah, Dwayne was very cordial. He was negotiating perhaps another inning to keep me, but I said, no, I got to get back to Rich. I said, we blend better with our shirts.
That's right. What did you do over there? Did you have any good trivia questions or any controversies?
Well, I will say one thing. We saw a quick home run by Carl Crawford, and then one of the hardest hit singles that you're going to see off the bat of Mike Stanton.
1-2. Popped him up. Barden fighting the sun. Makes the catch. Did you do the AT&T trivia question over there?
We did, yeah.
Oh,
we did.
Wow. Well, then you get 2 of them. It's a double header for you. Punch the clock. I think you get paid twice for this. First father-son combo to hit for the cycle. Hi.
Hey, that's a good one. I knew the answer to their AT&T question.
What was the AT&T question over there?
I was the answer.
No way.
Oh, yeah.
What was the question? Who was the Marlins color analyst?
No, it was who was the first baseman on the Topps 1972 All-Rookie team.
Nice. Nice.
Can we go with the Griffies on a possible answer here?
The Griffey's a good call. I mean, anytime if you're going to go fathers and sons, you want to look at the Boones.
Yeah, but I don't think Booney ever hit for the cycle, Bob.
How about the Hairstons?
Good choice.
Got speed.
Good choice.
And some pop. Coughlin is under it, and he makes the catch. How about an Alou?
Oh, very good. Felipe and Moises.
Well, we know Moises didn't do it as a Marlin.
Didn't do it as a Marlin.
Didn't play much as a Marlin, or play long as a Marlin. He was here briefly. David Price comes up.
I've not heard much positive feedback on our guesses, though.
David Price is 0 for 1. He struck out. Takes a good cut. He pops it up. And it falls for a base hit. Price around first. And he placed it in the exact spot.
Pretty sure that's his first major league hit.
He can't believe it. He's beside himself.
He actually has had good at-bats. Remember how he worked Josh Johnson and made him throw a lot of pitches last time up? He didn't even know where the ball was.
He did not know.
I think in hindsight, and Cogs may check himself, might have been a little deep with Price up there, a guy who's only had 6 or 7 major league at-bats, and that ball just dropped in front of him.
It turns the lineup over.
Oh, it's his second career hit. He's just 0 for 5 this year. Now he's 1 for 7.
John Jaso. And Johnson misses low and inside.
2 for 10 is David Price.
0 for 2 is John Jaso. He's popped out twice. A lot of pop-ups against JJ in this one.
Part of that, he's tying up a lot of hitters with that good fastball.
Ugly gets around it, fires to first in time. JJ through 5. It's given up a run. 1-1. The score. Don't miss the documentary premiere tonight at 9. Check your local listings. Josh Johnson and David Price in our Subway 5th inning.
They're living up to the bill. You know, this was billed as a pitcher's duel between a 7-game winner with the 3rd best ERA in the league and a 10-game winner in the American League, and we're getting that, a pitcher's duel.
Marlins trying to take this series and then head on to Baltimore. 3 games against the Orioles. Pitching matchups have been announced. Anibal Sanchez and Jeremy Guthrie will open up the series on Tuesday night. Ricky Nolasco, Nate Robertson will also make starts.
Yeah, lefty Brian Mattis in the 2nd game.
One of their top young pitchers. Then Kevin Millwood, who finally got a win. He'll pitch against Nate Robertson in Game 3. That's on Thursday night. That means Josh Johnson will get the Saturday start against the Padres. And Chris Volstad will open up that brief homestand with a Friday night start.
Chris Volstad will be pitching on fantasy auction night.
All right, which family are you going with? I'm going to go Hairston.
I'm going to go Griffey's.
Let's flip the phone.
Oh,
the Wards.
Gary Ward. See, Darrell Ward, a big left-handed hitter. I would not picture him hitting for the cycle. Gary Ward is father, a right-handed hitter.
Is Darrell Ward still the only player to hit a ball into the water in Pittsburgh?
At last check, yeah. They always have that in their notes.
Coughlin barrels that liner up. Upton comes in and drops it. B.J. Upton came in and kind of nonchalanted it, and it cost him. I know it was a sinking liner that was hit pretty well. Here's another look.
Well, this ball hit well, but Upton there in plenty of time. It's going to be his 4th error of the year. He doesn't even have to shoestring it. It hits the heel of his glove and then his knee. So a flat-out error. You'd like to see the Marlins maybe take advantage. We saw Mike Stanton get a big jump off David Price earlier in the game and steal a base.
Gabby's had some good swings against Price, and he has a big cut there and fouls it back. His average against lefties above 300, right around 320. He's come out of his shoes in the first 2 swings of this AB.
Yeah, Gabby has not gotten cheated. There are his numbers against lefties and righties. He's brought the average against righties up a little bit recently, so that's good. Gabby with a 5-game hitting streak now.
That one's fouled back. We told you at the outset that Freddie had held Ricky Nolasco and Nate Robertson off of their side sessions. Robertson, Freddie said, only in an emergency like a rainstorm that cuts the game short at 4 innings where you lose JJ. And since it doesn't look like that's going to happen, Robertson is up to get some work.
So Nate getting his in-between start work.
But I think Nolasco is going to be a guy that Freddie probably will wait until this one is over before Ricky throws his side. Coughlin's running. Gabby's hitting. Liner into right center field. Coughlin around second. He gets to the wall. Here comes Coughlin. He's going to score. Gabby on his way to third. A triple.
Couple of outfield miscues for the Rays in this inning. The error by Upton set it up, and then I think Zobrist was fooled by the speed of the outfield grass here in this ballpark. Another terrific swing on a good pitch, a breaking ball away. And look at that swing out. Gabby stays down on the ball. Bad route by Zobrist. The ball gets by him, and that allows Chris Coughlin to score easily. And Gabby Sanchez with another 2-hit game and a triple. Wow.
And a big at bat now for Dan Uggla. The Rays, I think, are wanting to appeal third base. And Rapalano looking into the Rays dugout. They're going to appeal that Coughlin missed it, and he did not. So Uggla will stand in a very large at bat right now with 1 out. Let's take a look and see if we see Coughlin hit the base. Yep.
Right on the inside corner. A lot of times on Sundays we give kids tips, and kids, it doesn't matter which foot you touch the bag with. Stay in stride. If it's your right foot or your left foot, just stay on the inside part of that bag.
Uggla with the infield in, trying to drive in this run. Little tapper, and Coughlin, or rather Gabby, holds at third, and Uggla is out. And so Price wins that battle, and it's up to Paulino to deliver this run.
Boy, Dan Uggla would like to rethink that at bat. He'd love to get a better pitch, a better swing, to try to drive the ball with the infield in. Boy, he just didn't have a good swing at that. And charged by Rodriguez, he took a peek. Now the Marlins need a big 2-out base hit.
Remember the last at bat that Paulino had with Price? It was a long one. And the last pitch was a called strike 3, but Fox Track showed it clearly outside of the strike zone. And Ronnie pops that one up. Rodriguez over, makes the catch. The Marlins get a run, a big hit by Gabby Sanchez, and reclaim the lead.
Hit in Major League Baseball today. Money contributed to the fight against prostate cancer. Dr. Mark Soloway is here from the University of Miami. He's a urologist there. Doctor, what's the biggest issue in the fight against prostate cancer?
Diagnosis early. Men who have a family history, actually all men over 50, should get a PSA, prostate-specific antigen, just a blood test and a rectal exam every year or two. Diagnosed early, will cure the cancer.
That was the case with our own Jeff Conine's father. Obviously, the more money we raise, the better chance we have of fighting this disease.
And Prostate Cancer Foundation and other organizations trying to, breast cancer is number one. But men and prostate cancer issues, Prostate Cancer Foundation, and Major League Baseball has been great We get more money for research. We're going to cure this cancer for every man.
Well, Carl Crawford's hit a home run today to help contribute to the cause. And
we didn't want that one.
Well, no, but we're still taking a 2-1 lead here, so it's all good.
That's true.
I want to thank you for dropping by. You did the stadium teardown, which I know was exciting.
Absolutely, and the new ballpark's going to be close to UM Hospital, so that's good for me. I'll walk to the game.
All right, thanks for being with us.
Okay, Frank, thank you.
Dr. Mark Soloway, thanks very much. Rich, back up to you.
That's good stuff. Important stuff, too. Crawford robbed of a hit on a diving catch by Gabby Sanchez. So nice UM flavor there in that last
segment. A good segue.
Yeah. Evan Longoria is 0 for 2. He has struck out and popped out.
That segue started, though, with Gabby's triple.
JJ had a 1-0 lead early in this ball game, erased by the Crawford homer in the 4th, but a 1-run lead here in the 6th. Longoria is sitting on a 2-0 pitch, and he tried to knock in the seats.
You know, we talked earlier of Price's consistency. Josh Johnson has been as consistent as well. You go back to his worst month so far was April. He was 2-1, ERA a little over 3. Then in May, JJ went 3-1, had a 1.38 ERA, and so far this month, 2-0 and an 0.82 earned run average.
Two and two on Longoria.
That's something that JJ didn't do very much of last year, use his changeup to a right-handed hitter.
Would you say that Josh Johnson, in his evolution since his rookie year in 06, is less of a max effort guy now?
Yeah, mostly fastball sliders. Now we see that fastball, even 95, 96, with an easy motion. We see changeups, a lot more changeups than his rookie year. And that's a pitch that a lot of times comes last, harder to develop.
There it is. Great changeup.
I love when we talk about it and then he uses it.
And that's the second time he has struck out Evan Longoria. Up comes Carlos Pena.
Watch the bottom fall out of this. You've seen a 95-mile-an-hour heater. Now you see about an 80, 85, 86-mile-an-hour changeup.
Pena singled through the shift into right field in the 4th. Struck out in the 2nd. JJ ties him up at 97 miles an hour. It almost seems like for Josh, his velocity has gone up in the last 3 or 4 starts. He's lived at 95, 96, 97, a little more than he did early in the year.
Yeah, I agree with you.
'96.
And not just throwing 96, spotting 96.
Swinging and missing 96 was Carlos Pena. 1, 2, 3 go the Rays in the 6th. Bottom of the 6th coming up. 2-1 Fish. Freeze that. That's a pretty good pitch. And Crawford goes down and gets it and hits it out. The Frostproof Coors Light Freeze can. That's the lone offensive highlight for the Rays. For the Marlins, a 2-1 lead. And Cody Ross takes a fastball for a strike from David Price. Ross, Helms, Stanton in the 6th. Price's pitch count is at 90. JJ's pitch count is 79. So if this is going to get to the bullpens at this pace, it's headed towards the Rays pen faster than the Marlins pen. Price's changeup comes in at 85. And it's 1-2. More interleague baseball this week. Long run, Rodriguez. And it almost hit him, and it lands fair. Ross hustling. Safe. He got in under the tag. Somehow, somewhere, Grignac can't believe it, and he's arguing right now with Wally Bell. What a bizarre play.
Well, it all starts with Cody Ross going hard from the get-go on a pop fly, and it's not an easy play. Rodriguez had a long way to go. Then he loses it in the sun. He has no idea where that ball is. It lands fair. Cody going hard all the way. A strong throw to second. Looked like Cody might have caught a break, as did the Marlins. Our double of the game is the tag on him before the hand gets on the bag. Tough to see. Bang, bang, very close.
The right hand was the first hand to hit the bag. And from those two angles, it was hard to see where the right hand was when the tag was applied. Regardless, the Marlins have a runner at second base. Price wheels and Cody is back in. It's going to go as a double. The Rays have not helped themselves in the outfield. Upton dropped the ball. Zobrist misplayed one, and that one falls in under the sun. Helms trying to shoot that ball to the right side, and he's behind in the count 0-2.
West trying to do everything to get a ball, any little dribbler, trickler to the right side. That's it. It's a good angle here.
Right hand. He's in.
Yeah, I think he made it.
Yeah, and Wally Bell is right there. See, that's what we were waiting for, to see where the right hand was when the tag was applied.
Looked like the tag was up on the shoulder.
But it's tough. 0-2 against Price. Ball in the dirt.
And you know that Price knows, even with 2 strikes, Wes Helms, veteran hitter that he is going to try to hit a ball the other way. So that was a breaking ball, but if he goes hard at him, he's going to try to keep it in to make it more difficult for Wes to go the other way. West with a base hit earlier today, single up the middle.
Helms drives it left field. That ball's deep. Crawford back. Go ball. Gone. 2-run shot. Uncle Wes and the Marlins jump on David Price here in the 6th.
Uncle Wes loves the Tampa Bay Rays. All 3 of his home runs have come against Tampa. Price went back with the breaking ball, and I'll tell you what, you almost get the feeling Wes set him up and was looking for it. He pulls the trigger. You know what? Forget about hitting a ball the other way. He opened up, got to that breaking ball for home run number 3, and what a catch.
Fox Exmo with a great look at that fan's catch And there's another look. That's a terrific play out there. Stanton now takes down low.
Yeah, I tell you what, little Wesley can be proud. Wes brings his son out to the ballpark all the time. Go ahead, finish that, and I'll finish the Wesley
Another
story.
$20,000 raised for prostate cancer research. And Price is a little bit rattled. He just went for a long walk behind the mound.
It's always great to see Wes Helms out here with his son. And yesterday, little Wes had eye black, just like Pop.
So it's a 4-1 ball game. And a strike to Stanton. Mike drove in a run on a fielder's choice in the second, also stole a base, and then singled up the middle in the fourth. Full count, 3-2. Price is over 100 now. Ray's pen is in motion, and he strikes out Stanton. You can see Price is still angry at himself.
Yeah, that is not where he wanted to make that pitch that Wes hit. But you're right, he came after Mike Stanton after falling behind. And gets the big guy on a strikeout, his 7th strikeout, 7 or 8. 8 strikeouts. See what happens when I switch booths?
Yeah, the numbers get, it's the exchange rate between National League and American League.
Yeah.
Ground ball short. Ringgat throws out Barden. Second out of the inning. And that'll bring up JJ. The Marlins have staked him to a 3-run lead here with 2 in the bottom of the 6th. Baker Concrete Super Saturday. OAR's coming next Saturday against the Padres. Fireworks Spectacular. It's all presented by the good folks at Fox Sports Florida. JJ takes a hack at it and fouls it off into the seats.
Yeah, we had a nice chat last night. Mark Roberge,
lead singer. And this kicks off OAR's summer tour. JJ swings and misses, and the Marlins are done. But not before a bloop double by Cody Ross and a blast by Wes Helms. A 4-1 lead for the 5th. the Marlins may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Marlins. Into the 7th inning, Wes Helms giving Jorge Cantu a day off and providing the Marlins with 2 runs in the 6th with a home run. Josh Johnson goes to work on Ben Zobrist, B.J. Upton, and Sean Rodriguez. Zobrist a base hit back in the 2nd. I told you Price over 100 pitches, 107. This is pitch number 82 for Josh, and it's right on the corner for a strike.
Boy, Josh would love to get 2 more innings handed over to Leo Nunez. Hey, while we have a second on the foul ball, everybody's being wished Happy Father's Day, and rightfully so on this day. But how about happy anniversary to Mark Butler and his wife Kim?
A tip of the cap
to our numero uno audio man,
who did a fabulous job under trying times last night. Seriously, I mean, if you listened to the telecast and heard all the horns and thought, man, that was a nuisance, it paled in comparison to what it sounded like in the stadium. And as an audio man, that's your challenge, is continue to give you the sounds of the game without getting drowned out. And he did a great job of that last night. Zobrist swings and misses. Josh has struck out the last 3 he's faced, and now 8 in the ball game.
Well, just making quality pitches once again. Looked like the changeup got Zobrist. Really, the only changeup that wasn't a good one today was the one that Carl Crawford hit for a home run.
Here is Upton, who is 0 for 2. Hits that ball pretty well. Coghlan there and makes the catch. The athleticism that Coghlan had when he started to play left field is becoming a nice enhancement for him out there. I mean, outfield, a lot of it is proper angles and proper technique. But just being the athlete that he is, he brings some acceleration and some speed out there, too.
Yeah, and I think sometimes if you have that blazing speed, you can make up for a mistake or two. Cogs has good speed, but not the blazing speed, so he has to take the right routes, get good jumps, and we've seen tremendous progress from last year to this year defensively.
There's Sean Rodriguez. The guy you kind of compare him to defensively is Ryan Braun, because remember, Braun, when he came to the big leagues, was a third baseman and not a very good one, and because of his bat they stuck him in left field, and his first half season in left field was so-so, but then the next year Braun's athleticism and just his baseball IQ and all of that, he has become a pretty capable left fielder.
Yes, he has, and nothing's taken away from his bat either.
No. 1-2. Rodriguez fouls the breaking ball back. You talked about Josh trying to get through 8 to get to Leo Nunez. And one of the reasons why, Brian Sanchez, who's kind of the 8th inning guy while Clay Hensley's on the DL, is probably not available for this ball game. Sanchez last night pitched an inning, and that was a night where the Marlins, I think, really wanted to stay away from him last night as well. But he's pitched 2 nights in a row.
By the way, I talked to Clay Hensley today, and he feels that when he's due off, when that date is ready, he'll be ready.
And that's important. It's not just, you know, after that time, then ease back into the role. If he's ready to throw before he's eligible to come off, then he can hit the ground running. JJ has it, flips it, 1, 2, 3. in the 7th. Josh Johnson has set down 7 in a row and leads it 4-1.
For the Fox Sports Fan Shops on June 25th. If you can't make it to the game, then tune in. Get you one of these.
That's right. Josh Johnson Baseball is part of the pledge packs. They go on sale online tomorrow. An authenticated Josh Johnson autograph ball. You see a New Era cap is there, a Marlins military cap, a Tommy Bahama towel, a Tommy Bahama gift certificate, a Fox Sports Florida Marlins cap, a Fox Sports Florida Marlins shirt, a South Florida Ford dealer keychain light. And did I miss anything? Oh, yeah, the Hanley Bling, that the batting title pendant. Here, Tommy, is our game summary brought to you by Land Rover.
Bottom line, some good stuff. How about early in the game? The Marlins were able to get a run on that fielder's choice, the RBI going to Mike Stanton. However, on a changeup, Carl Crawford tied it quickly with one swing. 1-1 ball game, both pitchers throwing tremendously. Then a great swing by Gabby Sanchez. Coughlin had reached on an error. Gabby drives him in with a triple that got by the right field. In the 6th inning, Wes Helms turns on a breaking ball, takes one into seats, his 3rd home run this year. A 2-run shot. All 3 home runs have been hit against Tampa.
And there you have it. 4 runs, 6 hits for the Fish. A run on 4 hits for the Rays. David Price's day is done.
And in the meantime, Josh Johnson, 7 innings. He's given up 4 hits and 1 run, and he has 8 strikeouts and not walked a batter. Grant Balfour, we saw him last night. Saw every relief pitcher in the house last night.
By the way, the place to go to buy the pledge packs is $125. You get all of those things, including the Josh Johnson autographed baseball. Marlins.com/fantasy. If you want to go there right now and check out the items and check out some of the items for the big auction, you can. Marlins.com/fantasy. Those pledge packs on sale starting tomorrow. Here's Coughlin now with Gabby Sanchez and Dan Uggla to follow against Balfour. Coughlin hit a searing liner to center that was misplayed by Upton for an error. And that opened the door in the 5th because he scored on Gabby Sanchez's triple. That's where the Marlins broke a 1-1 tie. Balfour, good life in that right arm. One ball, one strike.
Yeah, Balfour last night came in after 6 innings from Jeff Neiman. Neiman pitched terrific in his 6 innings, giving up just the 2 runs. couple of home runs, Chris Coughlin, Hanley Ramirez.
That's up. And it's 3-1. Marlins up 4-1. They're doing it without Hanley. They're doing it without Cantu. Hanley's hamstring injured. Getting the day off. Cantu just flat out worn out, getting the day off.
Well, I tell you what, we'll go to Baltimore. We could see the same mix that Freddie showed us in Tampa with Wes Helms at third and Cantu DHing.
Coughlin drives that ball to left. Crawford is back, and he makes the catch.
Last two at bats for Chris Coughlin. He's hit the ball well. That line drive to center that Upton dropped, and that one there.
A week from today is a Marlins Family Sunday on the 27th at 1:10. The Marlins and the Padres, first 5,000 kids get a Marlins beach set courtesy of Subway. Enjoy a family Sunday activity including the Diamond Dash. Gabby fouls that one off. 1-877 Marlins, the number to call. The Diamond Dash today also includes kids being able to go out on the field and play catch with dad on a Father's Day. 2 more hits for Gabby. He's got 6 hits in the series. And Gabby Sanchez's average is up to 292. He has driven in 30 and scored 34 runs this year.
So Gabby with a couple of base hits today came into this series prior to his 2-hit game, hitting .435 against the Rays, 10 for 23. So the Rays don't want to see Gabby Sanchez and Wes Helms.
No.
And Chris Coughlin.
Marlins.
Chris hitless today, but he's done a lot of damage against Tampa 2 this year.
If the Marlins can win this ball game, they will have reversed a 2-year slide against the Rays. Not really a slide, more of an avalanche. The Marlins just winning 1 game out of the 6 in each of the last 2 years. But not this year. The Marlins won 2 of 3 over in St. Pete. And they're up here 4-1 with this 3-game series tied in a game apiece.
And the Yankees leading the Mets 4-0 in the 6th inning, so they're thinking of maybe taking over first place.
Zobrist on the run. It's been a long time since the Rays were not in first place. 59 straight days.
And the Red Sox play later tonight, trying to sweep the Dodgers in a 3-game series at Fenway.
Kansas City's on top of Atlanta. That's good news. That's in the 5th inning. 5-4 Royals. Three-2. Upton makes the catch.
Yeah, Atlanta won last night, beat the Royals on a 9th inning walk-off home run from Troy Kloss, who's having a tremendous year. That's been a good sign for the Atlanta Braves. Kloss with 14 home runs, 55 RBIs.
And the Braves at 41-28, and they're doing it essentially without Chipper Jones. Jones, as well documented this week, is suffering through a tough season. But Gloss and Hayward have picked up the slack, that's for sure. Martin Prado as well. And Braves have won 4 in a row. A 1.5 lead over the Mets. 4.5 back the Phillies. The Marlins 8.5 back. When things started today. And the Braves have the best home record in all of baseball. They're 23-7 at home. And that game is in Atlanta, with Kansas City up 5-4 in the 5th.
Get those Bravos on the road.
Douglas sitting on a 1-2. Marlins, of course, have not been to Atlanta yet. Balfour flips over to first in time, and Ugla is retired. Grant Balfour works a 1-2-3, 7th, 8th inning. Out comes JJ. World of Harry Potter to be revealed on June 18th. Wait a minute here. June 18th was revealed at the Universal Orlando Resorts. Take flight on the exciting new ride, Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, where you'll come face to face with a dragon and the Whomping Willow giant spiders and other magical creatures.
There's that fine print.
Log on to foxsportsflorida.com and enter the wizarding world of Harry Potter sweepstakes. So it's been revealed. So check it out. foxsportsflorida.com. Reed Brignac takes a fastball for a strike. He's popped out twice. Then the pitcher's spot, and then Jaso, the leadoff man, against JJ here in the 8th. And a big inning for Josh Johnson. He enters the inning under 100 pitches. He's now at 97. So if he had a short inning here, Tommy, he's certainly within range of trying to finish the deal. But the Rays, a very patient team. One of the most patient teams in the American League. Change-up line foul. 2-2.
You know, you're looking ahead, way ahead, at the rotation.
Little flare into left. Coghlan is there.
Things will work out very nicely for Josh Johnson because he will pitch and have a number of days rest and be ready to work in the All-Star game. So it's not like he'll be pitching on Sunday before the game. And I think the new rule this year, if the starting pitcher is pitched on Sunday, he's not eligible to pitch in the game.
He is eligible, though, to become an All-Star, go to the All-Star game, take part in the festivities and all of that.
So this year, as an All-Star last year, JJ did not appear in the game. This year, things are setting up that we definitely will see him in that game.
Here's Bartlett. And he takes a big swing and a miss. Bartlett pinch hitting for Grant Balfour. Bartlett got the start last night. Had a couple of hits late, including a 2-run single in the 11th.
Josh Johnson is just getting stronger. It's a tribute to his workout, the way he prepares for every start, to be getting stronger on a hot, humid day like today. and it helps when you're 6'7", about 250.
Maybe 240 by the time the day's done.
Yeah.
We saw Benoit in the bullpen. The temperature right now is 90 degrees, and with humidity it feels like it's over 100. Two. Just buries it.
97. Wow. Here it is. Easy motion. And he just flat out threw it by Jason Bartlett. Nine strikeouts for JJ today.
Jaso now takes a strike at the letters. He's popped out twice and bounced out. Marlins have kept him off base. Marlins bullpen is starting to stir as JJ hits 108 pitches. Scott Strickland is up. That ball is smoked, and it's a fair ball. Rattles in the corner. Picked up by Stanton. Jaso has doubled, and up comes Carl Crawford. So the Rays have extended the inning, and in the process probably have assured themselves that they won't face JJ in the ninth.
This fastball is up, and Jaso gets to it, stays on top of it, extends his hitting streak to 5 games. I think the more we've seen of Jaso, you like him. You like the way he approaches his at-bats. And more importantly for the Rays, he gets Crawford to the plate.
Crawford fouls it off. And it's 0-1. Carl Crawford is homered, lined out, reached on an error, was caught stealing. Marlins have thrown him out a couple of times. He was caught last night as well.
Only a second time today, Rich, the Rays have a man in scoring position.
That's Jaso with 2 outs. Taylor Tankersley is up. The inning progresses and Pena comes up. That's probably Tankersley's assignment. 1-2. Crowd coming to their feet. JJ's 1-2. Line drive into left field. That's a base hit. Coughlin has it, and his throw comes home. Runner at third will hold, and Crawford actually stayed at first, which is a break for the Marlins. But now you bring the tying run to the plate in a guy that can tie it up with one swing, and that's Longoria.
That was a pretty good pitch, too, that Crawford hit.
Randy St. Clair is on his way out to the mound.
This may be a conversation that says, look at this. He's got a chance to be your last guy. Make some pitches to Longoria. As you pointed out, Rich, the man on deck is Carlos Pena, left-handed hitter, and Tankersley's getting ready.
And the Rays showing why they have been sharing a piece of first place and actually been in first place for the better part of 2 months. A double by Jaso, a single by Crawford. Longoria is 0 for 3. 1 for 9 in the series. JJ has struck him out twice. Blows a 97-mile-an-hour fastball by him.
Yeah, Randy St. Clair may have said, do you have any left? I think JJ answered the question.
There's Jaso. Outstanding speed, obviously, with Crawford. Those are his career numbers against JJ. This is the 5th start against the Rays for Josh Johnson. And he is 1-0. His ERA right around 3. Breaking ball popped him up. Tough play in the sun. Ross is in. Stanton comes through and makes the catch. He split the difference between Uggla and Ross, and JJ escapes the 8th. Nice play, rookie. Pure Edge Spotlight brought to you by Just for Men, Mustache and Beard. Josh Johnson has been outstanding today. 9 strikeouts, 6 hits, 1 run. He's given the Marlins the edge, that's for sure. You can keep yours with Just for Men, Mustache and Beard.
Rich, 117 pitches, 87 of those for strikes, lowering his ERA to 1.80. That's 3rd in the major leagues. 22 of 30 first pitch strikes for Josh Johnson. And continues his run now, 8 straight starts where he's gone 6 or more innings, giving up 1 earned run or less.
117 pitches, and JJ is done for the day. Ronnie Paulino, Cody Ross, and Wes Helms against Joaquin Benoit.
Only 4 other pitchers, Rich, over the last 30 years have gone 7 consecutive starts of 6 or more innings, 1 earned run or less. Chris Carpenter, Johan Santana, Kevin Brown, and Fernando Valenzuela. Santana took it to 1 more game, won 8. So Josh Johnson has tied him in that category for pitchers over the last 30 years.
It's amazing. His next start will be home next Saturday against the Padres. Marlins needed him big time today, and he's come through. But Leo Nunez has to seal the deal. Paulino takes down low. Benoit thought it was a strike. Full count, 3-2. Ronnie pulls a change-up foul. The Rays will have Pena, Zobrist, and Upton due up in the ninth.
Rich, a quick check, and this is my own, in my head, crack staff. At quick check, this will be 6 wins for JJ after a Marlins loss. Gets scary when I start doing numbers on my own.
It does. Yes, it does. That one's popped foul back into the seats.
But that is what an ace is all about. Take it on a day like today after the way the game went last night and give the kind of performance that he gave today.
Looking for win number 8. But remember, he has had 4 leads blown by his bullpen already this year. Rodney got tied up. Now the Rays fight the sun. Zobrist. It's a heck of a play by Mike Stanton. It looked like Cody Ross was in position to make the catch that last out of the top of the 8th. But Stanton showing a little moxie there.
Yeah, they both had a good angle at the ball. And you just are glad there was no collision, because we would have been picking Cody Ross up off the turf. Cody's ready. Here comes Stanton. And, oh, you're just glad there was no collision out there.
Here is Cody. Has walked, has doubled, and has scored twice. Benoit, part of the parade of relievers and starters that worked in last night's game.
Hey, Rich, I just want you to know that I have received confirmation.
So your crack staff is equal to
yes, I've
the one that we actually employ.
Confirmation from our crack staff that, yes, that is correct. 6 wins for JJ after a Marlins loss.
Now they love you in Gainesville now for that.
They're starting early.
Yeah. Back up the middle into center field. Ross has a 2-hit game. And up comes one of the heroes of the day, and that's Wes Helms. Wes is 2 for 3, and one of those 2, a big one, in the 6th inning after a Ross double. David Price hung one, and Wes hit it out.
That was kind of one of those flat breaking balls. Price didn't throw many, but he wanted to really crowd Wes with that one, get it in more, a little sharper, and Wes jumped on it. I think the other side of the coin, we were all impressed. We don't get a chance to see David Price that often, but now we understand why he came into this game a 10-game winner.
Yeah, his defense did not play that well behind him. In fact, you look at the Marlins' runs in the 5th and the 6th inning, and with a little bit better defense, those innings may not happen. Rodriguez is out. And he makes the catch. Remember, Rodriguez lost Cody's pop-up in the sun. That was the hit before the Helms home run. And Upton dropped Coughlin's line drive in the 5th. That put Coughlin on, and he scored on Gabby's triple. Here now is Stanton. Mike is 1 for 3 with an RBI. 2-0.
Well, the goal now is just for the Marlins to climb back to 500. You get there, and then you see what can happen.
They will head to Baltimore tomorrow night in preparation for the 3-game series, which opens Tuesday night at Camden Yards. Last time the Marlins were in Camden Yards, I want to say, what was it, 2006?
Yeah, it was 06. What's your memory from that series?
Oh, that's the only one memory. That was a comeback win in which the Marlins were down, I want to say they were down 3 in the 9th. Joe Borchard hit a home run, either a solo shot or a 2-run shot, and then Wes Helms hit a home run to tie it. And then in extra innings, with Miguel Cabrera up and a runner in scoring position, on an intentional walk, Miggy stepped out almost over the plate and banged the ball into center field for the game-winning RBI. Enter Leo Nunez. We're trying to save this one. It's 4-1 pitch. Fourth most in the major leagues this year, 103 walks out of the bullpen. And Leo Nunez did not have a sharp night last night. Even though he didn't give up a run, he gave up 2 hits and a walk. It's Nunez who comes in here. The last time he came in to save a Josh Johnson game was Tuesday night, the opener of the Rangers series. And the Rangers, on a Matt Trainer pinch hit 2-run triple, came back and won the game. And so Nunez faces Carlos Pena, who drops down a bunt. Nunez has it, fires the first in time.
Well, that's a big out. Nice quick one. Pena, we've seen do that. 4 bunt hits on the year. We've seen him do that a lot in this series. But that time didn't get it up the third baseline. And a nice patient play by Leo Nunez. He knew he had time.
Here comes Zobrist now. Zobrist 1 for 3. Even though that was a blown save for Nunez, he still has had a pretty good year this year. It's tough to lump him into the struggles of the bullpen.
Well, I think I made the comment at the time. If you go around baseball, exclude Mariano Rivera, most closers are going to have 2 or 3 blown saves.
Mets are down 4-0 in the 8th to the Yankees. The Braves are still trailing Kansas City 5-4 in the 6th. Both good things for the Fish. Nunez comes up and in with a fastball, and that's fouled out of play. Washington is losing to the White Sox 5-3, bottom 7. Phillies are losing to Minnesota 4-1, bottom 8.
Boy, the Nats have lost 5 in a row. Ricky's starting to get his work now.
As we told you, the Marlins have saved him just in case. Gorgeous changeup by Nunez. He has the first 2 outs of the 9th inning.
Yep, he's gotten a couple of good hitters easily, and that's a great sign. Here's that changeup. Zobrist swinging at the arm action, the fastball arm action.
So it's Upton now. BJ is 0 for 3. Fastball. Oh, 2. Marlins live after the ball game. We'll wrap up this series. Marlins trying to take 2 or 3 from the Rays for the second time in a week. Oh, 2 coming. Did not catch the outside corner, and it's 1-2. Our Fox tracks. And Rapuano has had a good game behind the plate.
Yeah, he has. After taking that foul tip in the first inning, too.
That one catches the corner. Down goes Upton. And the Marlins win it. Nunez saves it. And the Fish, who endured an emotional roller coaster and a tough defeat last night, bounced back with an A+ effort from their ace, Josh Johnson. Some big hits from a rookie.